Hi everyone, thank you for being here. Today is another episode of the Present Show. I'm very happy to be here with Ashley that is here with us.
I am actually right now in Peoria, Illinois, and my role is in organizational development. Mm-hmm. And as part of that, I have special focus and interest in leadership and how purpose and culture relate to leadership specifically.
So when did you meet mindfulness and what is it for you?
I have been working on my mindfulness practice, and I would say it's a work in progress for a lifetime, but I've been working on it for some years, I would say, specifically around yoga and meditation for the last 10 to 12 years with a consistent practice. But more recently, over the last couple of years, have worked to bring that to the workplace in different ways. And a lot of times my experience has been that the language that we use around mindfulness is really important to help people understand exactly what it is that we're talking about, right? It can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So specifically around my work in leadership development, it's been helping to highlight the importance of attention, right? Where we put our attention, where we put our focus in this really very busy, distracted world with so many opportunities to pull our attention away from what's really important, helping people come back to center and find ways to create a mindful practice that works for them, both in the workplace and outside of the workplace. You can't assume at the same time talking about what are the outcomes, what are the objectives, what are the benefits as a way to introduce and then kind of backtrack into the many, many ways that we can get there. But talking to people about what's important to them and what the outcomes might be is oftentimes a way to kind of gauge and understand where they're at and what could be helpful to them in their own journey, again, wherever that may be.
Is there any correlation for you between mindfulness and giving thanks, gratefulness, things like that?
Yes, a deep connection that I've been exploring and experimenting with employees and outside of work as well. So I do a fair amount of coaching and looking at gratefulness as a complement or a kind of subset of mindfulness by suggesting that in order to be grateful, you have to be mindful, right? You have to consider what are the good things that are going on and how to gain satisfaction through that and also spread that to others. Particularly in the workplace, we are really great problem solvers. We, can identify problems, can look at what needs to be fixed, can, dig in and really are very adept at, in some ways, looking at the negative, right? And spending time and focus on that so that it can be fixed and can be brought to a better level or a more customer-focused level by focusing so heavily on those problems. But a lot of times the balance to that can be lost, because that talent is so great. Sometimes we aren't always appreciating what's already going well, what we may be grateful for, what may have been fixed. We move on pretty quickly from there. So that's a place in the workplace that I think there's opportunity and also both personal and organizational benefit to be derived. So finding that balance and finding the ways that we can express gratefulness, very authentic and sincere, certainly goes to, again, the outward expression of mindfulness in this case, but by sharing that with others, through communication, as you suggest.
It requires a lot of awareness to be grateful to others, what the great thing that other people do, but also a lot to be grateful to yourself, to your own unique way of thinking, behaving, the feelings you have. So it's definitely needed and much appreciated to be grateful and promote such practices.
Think through how you want to show up. Focus less on the doing and more on the being. And how do I want to show up for others? That directly then relates to the kind of climate or culture that you're creating. And the importance of that, I think, can't be underscored. We overlook that a lot of times as well.
Do you have any tips, tricks, or practice? Do you want to lead us in a mindful minute?
I think that there are a couple of tips, a couple of reflective questions that can be really helpful. And, that question of how do I want to show up is a great one to start with, right? And I think about that even as I go into the holidays, not at the workplace, but with my family. Anyone at any time can pause and have that reflection. Consider gratefulness as something to incorporate into your mindfulness practices.
Anytime, everywhere.
We should all just, take some time to appreciate and be grateful for being in the present and being able to acknowledge the fact that we're in the present.